necessary to speak Latvian in order to live in Latvia, to work here and stuff? If you're interested, I will share my experience. My name is Anna and I moved to Latvia 3 years ago. I'm a foreigner here, but I'm a Russian-speaking person and I will speak about this experience too. So if you're interested to know more about this, I'll be happy to help. So let's get started. So I'm a Russian-speaking person, and in Latvia, local people speak several languages. So first of all, Latvian, of course, because, well, it's Latvia. And the second language is Russian, because Latvia is a post-Soviet country. Many people here, they use Russian as their native language, 30%, and others, they just speak Russian because, well, many people speak Russian here. Final language is English, of course, so now Russian is less popular than it used to be, and English is becoming more and more popular, and more people can speak this language. This language is more popular with youngsters, and older people, they're more likely to speak Russian, but not to speak English. So that's the thing. You may see that, well, if a person, even local person, wants to find a job here, well, it requires speaking 3 languages, because, well, of course, for local people it's Latvian and Russian, and for tourists it's English. So the requirements here are high, I can say. Let's figure out whether it's actually obligatory to speak Latvian if you want to find a job. Is it possible like to live without knowledge of Latvian here? Let's find out. As you may have seen from my other videos, I can speak several foreign languages, and for me it's not a problem to learn a new one, and for me it's interesting experience and it's not a problem, and I don't have this attitude like, oh no, I will not learn this language. Well, why not? It's always cool, for me at least. And of course, when you move into a different country, you should have a kind of respect to local culture and local language, and first of all, you should learn it not because it's like obligatory to learn it, but because you respect the local culture and local language and local people. I think it's a good way to show your respect. For me, it's easier because I'm a Russian-speaking person, and almost everybody here, they speak Russian, but for other foreigners who come from different parts of Europe, I think it would be like even obligatory to speak Latvian because, well, not so many people here speak English. There are like some still, but not so many. So again, you should know some Latvian in order to survive, like in the store and somewhere else in the hospital and stuff. But if you want to find a job for foreigners, it's obligatory to have a language certificate. So what does it mean? You have to learn language first, and then you have to take an exam. There are levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. And these levels, they let you work at different positions. So for example, if you have A1, A2, so most probably you will not be able to work with people, so you will not be able to be like a waitress or a salesperson or something like that. You'll be only able to work inside of a bakery and stuff, because there you only need Latvian maybe to discuss some work-related things, and they can be discussed maybe in other languages, so it's not that serious. But as soon as you interact with local people, you are obliged to know Latvian and Russian. Let's get to my experience, how I learned Latvian and how I worked in Latvia. I think that will be interesting for you. So as I said before, I was up for learning Latvian, and I moved to Latvia to study at the university. My studies were in English, but they offered us a course of Latvian, of course, and I was happy to learn this language, and I'd been learning this language for 1 year, and after a year, well, you know, it wasn't like a very hard or intense course. It was just, 3 classes a week. I didn't make myself learn extra, nothing special, and after a year of such learning, I was able to pass A2 level of Latvian, so now it lets me work, somewhere inside and like not interacting with local people. For me, it wasn't difficult to learn Latvian because it's close to Russian language. Many words are similar, but Latvian language is also close to German, so if you're a German-speaking person, it will also be easier for you to speak this language and for other European people. So now I'll be sharing my working experience because even without the knowledge of Latvian, I was able to work at some places, and I will talk about more details from the legal perspective and stuff like that. So my first job in Latvia, it was in the kindergarten. So you may wonder what I could do in the kindergarten, but the thing is that I speak English pretty well, and I've been teaching English for 4 years now. And when I came to Latvia, it was 3 years ago, as I said, I was just looking for a job, and I got this email. One language school here in Latvia, they were looking for people who can teach English in the kindergarten. So this job didn't require me to speak Latvian or Russian, because this method they used was like, the idea was to put children into this language environment, so you don't let them speak Latvian, Russian, or any other languages, but English. That's why it was okay for me not to use Latvian. But the thing is that if I had this usual job contract, like common job contract, I would still need to have this language certificate. But the company I worked with, they practice this tendency that they do the contract with self-employed people. So I had to become a self-employed person, and I had to have this contract that like we exchanged services with the school. So in this way, it didn't require me to have the language certificate, and the taxes I paid, they were less than I would have paid in a different case. So that's the thing. This is how you can avoid having this learning certificate if you are self-employed and you have this contract as if you are like exchanging the services with somebody. This is how it worked with me. Then my next experience, it was actually the experience which like showed me how everything worked in Latvia with this language system, and it was bakery. I found this post after like I stopped working in the kindergarten. It was like during my holidays because I couldn't work on holidays, and then after COVID I decided not to continue working there, and I found this advertisement, like job advertisement on the internet about the bakery, and I was going there to learn how things were working there, and employers, they looked at me as if like to check if I was capable to work there or not. And then on the very last day of this like onboarding process, I can say, I think onboarding process, this is something else, but I was just already learning to do stuff, or maybe it's the same, whatever. So on the very last day I came to work, and they were like, we cannot hire you because you do not have this language certificate. And at that moment I'd been only learning Latvian for 1 semester, so I couldn't even pass it for like at the level of A2, and you can imagine that I wasn't able to work there. This is how I found out about the system and how it worked here in Latvia for foreigners. After that experience, well, I kept working from home online. I was teaching languages and stuff as a self-employed person. The next experience, it was connected with my university because my employer was my university. They started this project, like the marketing department started this project which included students, and they were like, like influencers on social network, and we were sharing our experience studying in the university, trying to attract more students to apply and stuff like that. So this job was fully in English for me because I'm an international student. Here, since it was like a project, they also have this special kind of contract. It was like a job contract, and they didn't pay much. It was like under 200 euros even. So it was like really part-time job, really part-time job. And it didn't require anything like language certificate or even paying taxes. So it was just a nice experience, not dealing with any documentation. My latest experience working here, it's my internship actually. Now I have this internship at the Non. Most probably we have this different type of contract, and it's not the same as this job contract that people usually have here. It's internship, and it doesn't require the language certificate as well. But I was ready, to practice Latvian and stuff. But even though like my level now is not maybe A2, because I don't just practice Latvian, because the thing is that everybody understands Russian. I say hi, bye, and thank you in Latvian, and that's it mostly. But 2 weeks ago I had a chance to practice Latvian because my family and I went on vacation to a small village called Angry, and the people there, they are Latvian speaking, and they don't just speak Russian well, or their Russian is not maybe very good for communication communicating like freely. And we met this woman near the church, and my mom was telling something to her in Russian, and the woman was surprised that there is somebody that there was somebody speaking Russian, and she looked at me. And usually local people are surprised when they see that you are young and you don't speak Latvian, because even if you are raised in the Russian-speaking family, but you were born in Latvia, well, you are supposed to speak Latvian. This is what like people do. They speak Latvian even if they are from Russian-speaking family. So she was surprised that I wasn't speaking Latvian, because I was like, no, I can speak it, but it's not very good. And I started to explain in Latvian that I actually came here 3 years ago. I was studying advanced post and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I can actually speak Latvian. Such a good feeling, because after not practicing the language, you just start to doubt your abilities, whether you can still remember something or not. But it was just a great time to practice Latvian. I was really pleased that I still know it and I can still speak it and say something. I hope that my experience helped you to know more details in this matter, and if you have any more questions and if I'm able to answer them, I will do that, so feel free to write them in the comments below. If you want to know more about Latvia, you can also ask me in the comments and I will film more videos. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!